Morrison, Waite, and Loving versus Virginia. Born November 29, 1816, in Lyme, Connecticut, his father, Henry Matson Waite, was a justice of the Connecticut Supreme Court. Waite was raised in a wealthy upper-class family. He married Amelia Chapman Warner on September 21, 1840, in Hartford, Connecticut. They had 3 sons together: Henry Selden, Christopher Champlin, and Edward Tinker, and a daughter, Mary Frances Waite. Graduating from Yale in 1837, and there he received his legal education by reading law. Soon after, he moved to Maumee, Ohio, where he studied law in the office of Samuel L. Young. Waite attended law school at the University of Cincinnati. He and his family moved away from home so he could make a career practicing law. In politics, Waite was first a Whig and intended to become a Republican. Waite was the mayor of Maumee, Ohio, and only served for 1 term. He ran twice for the Senate and was unsuccessful. He also declined a seat at the Ohio Supreme Court. Morrison Waite was chosen by President Ulysses S. Grant to succeed Judge Salmon P. Chase as Chief of Justice of the United States Supreme Court, and he held this position until his death. Waite was the 7th Chief of Justice of the United States and admitted with a 63-0 vote. In the United States versus Harris, Harris led an armed lynch mob into a Tennessee jail and captured 4 black prisoners. Though the deputy sheriff's attempted to protect the prisoners, he was unsuccessful. One of the prisoners died. The United States government brought criminal charges against Sheriff Harris and others under Section 2 of the Forces Act of 1871. The amendment applied only to the acts of the states, not the acts of the individuals. And in Munn versus Illinois regulated grain warehouse and elevated rates by establishing maximum rates for their use. Waite for the court took a broad view of the state's police power. He argued that the states may regulate the use of private property when such regulation becomes necessary for the public good. He was President Ulysses S. Grant's 5th choice for the Chief Justice. Waite served the court until his death. Waite died on March 23, 1888, in Washington, D.C. Loving versus Virginia. Richard Loving, a white man, and Mildred Jeter, a woman of mixed African American and Native American descent, married. It happened June 12, 1967. The couple traveled from their residences in Central Point, Virginia, to Washington, D.C. to be married. Richard Loving, a white man, and Mildred Jeter, a woman of mixed African American and Native American ancestry, traveled from residences and married on June 2, 1958. Having returned to Central Point, they lived in the home of Mildred's parents while Richard, a construction worker, built a new house for the couple. In July of 1958, police entered the Loving's bedroom in the early morning hours and arrested them for having violated the state's ban on interracial marriage. At a hearing in Virginia State Court in January 1959, the Lovings pleaded guilty to having violated Section 20 through 58 of the Virginia State Code, which prohibited a white person and a colored person from leaving the state to be married and returning to live as husband and wife. It went to the Supreme Court because it was being determined whether or not Virginia's anti-miscegenation law violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The decision was ruled by the Supreme Court as being unconstitutional under the Equal Protection and Due Process Clauses of the 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court ended prohibitions on interracial marriage and dealt a major blow to segregation.